I'm not saying I'm not sorry. Just looking for another you. It's not getting any better. But what can I do when there's something wrong? When we keep holding on to the best days. I'm not saying I'm not sorry. Just looking for another you.
So welcome to New York.
Thanks.
You were at EDC New York a few nights ago. Can you tell us how that went?
It was crazy. I mean, I can't believe that this whole thing, this dance music thing, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's crazy.
And when you're playing at a festival like that where you don't get the chance to do two different sets like you did at Ultra, how do you kind of balance, appealing to the more mainstream crowd and also appealing to the more hardcore fans? How do you balance the music in your set?
That's a good question. I mean, I just, go with the flow a little bit. I mean, I try not to think too much. I try to play the tracks that I want to play. Don't repeat too much of the things that I've done in the past, and just keep it exciting for the crowd that's in front of you. Yeah, that's the most important thing, I think.
And when you're doing a set like that, are you getting, real-time feedback from the crowd, scanning the crowd, seeing how they're reacting, and then you'll either go, a bit more trancey or a bit more progressive?
Yeah, I'm a little bit old school. Like, I don't pre-program my set in the sense of that I know exactly beforehand what I'm going to play. So, yeah, I like that's the craft of DJing for me. You just look at the crowd and then you decide where you go with your set.
So you just had a new single drop, Another You with Mr. Probz. Tell us about how you guys first met and how that collaboration came about.
Well, I was a big fan of his track Waves. Really admired him because he comes from the world of hip-hop, so it's a completely different thing. And it was a big track on Dutch radio. And we went to the Buma Stemra Awards, which is, the Buma Stemra is the Dutch collecting society, like ASCAP in the US. And they have this award ceremony every year where they give awards to people that, for example, his track Waves was most played track on Dutch radio. My track, This Is What It Feels Like, was most played track on a foreign country. So we both, we're showing off our awards to each other, and then so we sort of making conversation, like, we should do a track together one day. And I happened to know his manager, so it was only one phone call away. And a few weeks later, he was sitting in my studio, played me this hook line that he had for Another You, which I really liked, but it needed development. It was just an a cappella at that point. So I sent him an idea that I had. It was only a 1-minute clip, and then he really liked it. I said, well, if you want to develop it, we need to go to studio, sit together, and really, really make this track come to life. And that's what we did.
And when you work with an artist who's from a totally different genre, how do you kind of find each other in the studio? How do you kind of get on the same wavelength since you both make such different music, usually?
I guess there was a lot of mutual respect from me to Mr. Probz, and from Mr. Probz to me. He really liked what I did. I really liked what he did. And we both loved the song idea that we had. I mean, we had something to work with when we were in the studio. And he really wanted to make a dance track for something that he was, he really think that was his move to make. And I really wanted to work with his voice because his voice is just so fantastic. So that's what we did. We found each other in the middle. And it was super exciting to do something completely different for me as well, other than, doing a standard dance track again. I mean, this is something I really love to do. But working with an artist like Mr. Probz, sitting in the studio, conducting a real orchestra, that's something I've never been done before. So that's what happened on Another You.
And would you say it's more difficult working with a vocalist who doesn't come from an EDM background as opposed to working one who's already familiar? No. It doesn't matter.
No, the only thing that I find funny is that sometimes artists that aren't from the dance music background, they always sort of apologize. I don't know this music. You have to tell me. I'm like, music is music, man. I mean, of course, I may know a little bit more about programming or beats or what a drop is or how it kicks in. End of the day, it all matters if you feel it. Right? Yeah, it's all music.
So the song's the single from your upcoming album. Are you almost completed the album?
Yeah.
So when's it coming out?
The songs are done. The songwriting is done. I'm just doing a lot of re-recording. We're signing a lot of contracts.
Is there a release date yet? Or
not yet. I hope in the fall of this year, but we'll see.
And musically speaking, which of your past albums would you say it resembles most? Like, what's it closest in tone to? And
I don't think you can compare it to anything. No, it's
totally
completely
different.
new. It's all new ideas, new songs, new everything.
And can you tell us about any of the other collaborations or?
Not yet. No, at the moment I can't reveal anything because we're signing the contracts for the album. So I would get in legal trouble. Yeah. It would seriously endanger my negotiations.
So what about another single? Are we going to be getting another single before the full album drops, or?
I hope to drop the album with the next single, but we'll have to see how it goes with the finalizing everything because my schedule is pretty crazy at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so talk a bit about why you've always been so drawn to the trance genre and, why you've stuck with it for so long. What is it about trance that I guess really speaks to you?
I love melodies, man. I love the emotion that it evokes. I love to be taken on a journey. I mean, instrumental music for me has a certain appeal. I love a good vocal now and again, but trance music is mostly instrumental music. It's all about melody. It's all about euphoria. It's all about, that specific emotion. It's something I really love to do. I guess it's just in my DNA, man. It's just kind of hard to answer the question why I do certain things. I mean, why do you love coffee? Why do you love tea? It's just you love because you love it.
Do you ever see yourself going away from trance for any period of time and trying your hand at something totally different?
No, not really. I mean, I'll always try different things, but for me, it's all a different interpretation of the same thing. I mean, music is not a fixed thing. It is never. I mean, the only thing it's the only thing that's evolving. I'm really excited about the fact that trance right now is at a really good place and it's just moving and evolving. And I don't see myself move away from trance really soon.
So you said trance is kind of moving and evolving, but what about the critics who say that trance is more of a dying genre? How would you address them?
They said that in 2001, and I've proved.
Right.
In 2001, I remember people saying that, and in 2003, 2004.
Well, they keep saying it, so I mean.
If you listen to the intro of the State of Trance Year Mix 2004, which is 11 years ago, listen to the intro. You'll laugh because you're like, what? You did that in 2004? Yep, I did that in 2004 because people were already saying that it was dying. And
so you're not worried about like future house taking over, tropical house or any of these new genres that are kind of emerging. You're not worried about, them kind of pushing trance out. Or?
It's I find the whole genre discussion a little bit useless because end of the day, what is EDM? What is tropical house? What is trap?
Each genre is kind of distinguished by its own sounds to a certain degree.
Good music is good music, and trance will never go away. It will not be as popular as it always has been. But is that really bad? I don't think so. I think what matters is that you make music, you make it from your heart, and then you have a certain following for it. It doesn't always mean you need to play for 80,000 people for a genre to survive or something. If there's a club of 400 people that are having an amazing time listening to a trance set, then that's fine too. It doesn't always need to be 80,000 people that need to enjoy a certain genre for myself. Trance has been around for such a long time, but it's progressing, it's moving on, and right now you see so many sub-genres within trance. And I want the State of Trance to be a home for all of them. That's my ambition.
Okay, so talk a bit about, when you first started out making music, the EDM scene was completely different, and it's only really blown up in the past, 5 or 6 years. So how have you had to adapt your career to kind of change with the times now that EDM is so different than what it was when you began?
I don't think I've really adapted myself. Just the numbers got bigger. The only thing I really did to adapt was I upped my production skills in the sense of I travel with an advanced team right now, so I have a big crew of people that travel with me, a tour manager, a VJ, a sound guy. You need those people with you.
You didn't used to need that back in the day.
No. Back in the days, I just showed up with a bag of records and put your first record on the turntable and off you go.
So has it been difficult adjusting to all this, new stuff that you have to travel with now, all this new stuff that you need for your shows?
No, it's not difficult. It makes it more exciting, actually. I mean, the fact that I've been changing my working routine was also good because you look at it with fresh eyes and ears. And I still enjoy playing the club sets now and again. I still play clubs for 200-300 people sometimes, which is what I really enjoy. But everything is constantly changing. Pantarij, everything is flowing. So
you've been known to play some pretty long sets in the past. I think your record was 12 and a half hours. Is that your longest? So how do you mentally and physically prepare for something like that?
It's always exhausting. It's especially now I'm 38. It's not as easy as it used to be. But I think just in general, I try to stay in shape and eat healthy.
But I mean, just like even playing, reading the crowd for that long, constantly switching songs. Like, how do you keep your mind, you know, focus in that zone for so long and keep the crowd going for that?
Well, you need to prepare, you know, the key's in preparation. You need to make sure that you have enough tracks to keep the crowd excited. And you need to make sure that you excite the crowd as well with stuff that they didn't expect. Or you can't play the same music for 12 hours. You have to sort of vary it a little bit and try different genres and, you know, do different things. And then you come really far.
So you said in the past that you're kind of slowing down now just in terms of how many gigs you're playing, how much you're touring. You're close to 40. Do you see kind of like an end game or an end goal, like a point where you want to retire, you know, maybe just from live shows and only produce? You know, how long do you think you're going to be able to keep doing this for? Maybe.
I thought about it, you know. At one point, I do want to DJ really, you know, a lot less, but I don't think I'll ever be able to stop full time.
Not even when you're like 60, 65?
No, I think I'll always be a DJ. I think if you're born a DJ, you will die a DJ because that's just in your blood. I mean, let's look at the essence of what DJing actually is. In my opinion, I think you are a DJ as soon as you're playing a record for somebody else. Right. So if you're sitting in your car and your best friend is sitting next to you and you're excited about a certain song, you put it on and you want to convince your friend that what you're playing is a great track, right?
And you're a DJ.
I think that is the essence of DJing. Right. So my wife will probably be my only my only crowd left now. I mean, I think that the essence of DJing is playing music for people to enjoy, and that's what you do. So it doesn't really matter if you play for, I mean, I think I can really cross off my list playing for hundreds of thousands of people. I've done that.
You've done it all.
And it's amazing, and I want to keep doing it. I definitely do not want to slow down anytime soon. Maybe a few less gigs to see my kids grow up. But at the moment, I don't feel like slowing down. But I think at one point, I will be very happy with just, you know, playing for a few hundred people in a club, playing, you know, some old school trance or some new school trance. I don't know. You know, that's where it's going to be. But I don't really see myself stop full time. But, you know, who knows? I don't know what the future will bring. I don't know what's going to happen. At the moment, I'm just feeling really inspired and just really energized about all the new music that I've got going. I think the vibe in the scene is very good. I'm just hoping there's, you know, one of the things I love about the scene currently most is the fact that there's so much room for everybody. If you're into trance, there's a festival for you. If you're into progressive house, there's a festival for you. If you're, you know, there's all these sub-genres now. You have a hardstyle festival. You have, you know, a tropical house festival. You know, all these different genres have their own following right now. I think that's beautiful. Everybody can choose their own direction.
And when you've had a career that's as accomplished as yours, you know, when you've done so much, you've hit all these milestones, what kind of keeps driving you every day? You know, what makes you get up in the morning and, you know, keep wanting to do it?
The music itself. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I'm so excited about the stuff that I'm producing and I'm putting out, songwriting that I'm doing. I'm really excited to work with people that I haven't been working with before because they always teach you something new. Like, for example, the track with Mr. Probz, that was really a track that learned me a lot. For example, we recorded real strings. I'd never done that before. So I had a guy helping me out. He explained me how he did that, because we had the alt section, we had the viola section, you know, so he wrote it out and he actually showed me how he had to write all those notes.
That's awesome that you're still like learning new stuff this far into your career.
That's the amazing thing that keeps me excited, you know, actually writing music and working with that.
What's up, Ultra? Are you guys ready for some state of trance? And let me see some hands in the air, come on. I said if you're ready for a state of trance, put your hands in the air, make some noise for me.